Hello, folks. We're here at the Rotary Art and Wine Festival, and I met up with Miles Menetrey. And for those that you don't know, he's a candidate in the 5th District of supervisor here in our county. But we're not here to talk about politics. We're actually here to talk about his many years of volunteering for the Sheriff's Department's
volunteers search and rescue
team, and
right.
It's just amazing some of the things that you guys do. Could you give us a little background on how you got involved and what some of the most daring things that you've gotten done?
So in the year 2000, my wife and I owned the Indian Flat RV Park in El Patel, down on the river, and I went to a car over the bank into the river and witnessed the Sheriff's Department and the search and rescue team dealing with that incident, and I asked if you had to be a deputy or if regular citizens could get involved, and they said, yeah, we're comprised of volunteers. So that's when I started, and now we're 16 years down the road. 16 years. Still active with the team, and I have learned so much. The team's taught me how to scuba dive, so I'm part of the dive team.
Oh, wonderful.
I have a Jeep, so another segment of the team is four-wheel drive.
Right.
Obviously, we have ground searchers. We have a management team that will manage each incident as it comes up. So there's many facets to it other than just searching.
Right.
And it's a great organization. We teach everything from how to dress to how to survive in a snow cave to...
Oh, so you folks also offer classes to the public?
No.
Okay.
What we do, though, but we train. We train monthly.
Oh, okay, volunteers.
We train monthly,
right.
And we allow high school students to come onto the team at 14.
Oh, wonderful.
So, over my 16 years with the team, we have pumped hundreds of kids through the project. And every winter, we go up on our overnight winter camp, and we spend 2 nights in the snow. Let everybody dig a snow cave and camp in the snow, try to build a fire in the snow, make their meal in the snow. And it's a lot of fun.
So if somebody wanted to volunteer or check, they would go to the Sheriff's Department, or
Correct.
Where they would go?
They could go to the Sheriff's Department. The deputy coordinator who's in charge of the team right now is Sergeant Chris Ramirez, or they could get a hold of Deputy Tim Rumfelt, or they could talk to the gals in the office, would hook them up with an application, and then point them in the right direction.
Right.
And
so out of that many years, there has to be a particular rescue that just comes to mind and as, wow, we almost didn't survive that.
It's interesting. We have when we're out on we have 3 overnight adventure trainings each year. The snow camp, which I described, every spring we go down to the Merced River for a 2-day training with our Swiftwater team.
Sure.
And then in the summer, we usually go up up on Chowchilla Mountain and spend a night and do training up there. And in the evening after dinner, when we're sitting around the campfire and just talking about the team, that's when the stories come up. And you're right, there are many. The one that I always think about was a time that we were up looking for a gentleman who had been missing in Yosemite National Park for, I can't remember the details, but it was enough that they pulled in other counties.
Oh, my.
We went up to Tuolumne Meadows, got in a helicopter, and they flew us back into Tenaya Canyon, and our assignment was to go in with our dive gear and clear this small pond.
Oh, wow.
In the drainage there in Tenaya Canyon, and the weather was horrific. It was stormy, and they flew us in there, dropped us off, and just as we were, I think I had my gear on, my feet were in the water, I was just about ready to get in, and they said they found the subject. So our assignment was over at that point. Now, because of the weather, they couldn't fly us out. And we sat huddled under this tree, and we broke out our MREs and started to have something to eat. And my good buddy Dave Thorpe, all of a sudden he's eating on a bag of Skittles. And that's one of my favorite candies. So I'm like, Dave, where'd you get those Skittles? And he said, I found them in my MRE. It's like, no way. I've eaten lots of MREs and never had any candy in it. So That's one of the favorite stories we like to tell.
For those that may not know, an MRE is a rations
meal ready to eat.
Meal ready to eat.
Usually made by the Army or Armed Services.
So you can imagine how well those taste or how good they are.
They're not very
good. They definitely don't have olive oil.
They may have improved. That was quite some time ago. A lot of great adventures. I feel blessed to have been part of the team and learned a lot and seen a lot of things. Another quick story. People come. They're coming to the crown jewel of the national park system, Yosemite National Park, and somehow they'll get up through Ponderosa Basin and up on Chowchilla Mountain Road, and the typical SAR call out is 10 o'clock at night. It's always dark. Most of the time it's raining. Exactly.
Yeah.
This particular family was on their way to a ski adventure up at Badger, followed their GPS, got way back up on top of Chowchilla Mountain Road, down the back side, and obviously got stuck in the mud. And I remember when we found them, and we couldn't do anything with their car. It was buried in a rut. And we were walking out with them, helping them carry their luggage and walking up the hill, and I'll never forget the wife says, "Oh my gosh, we drove down this?" I remember thinking to myself, "What, were you asleep? Or what? How did you guys get this far up in the woods, when we have paved roads up to Yosemite?" So lots of stories. There's just lots of stories, but it's a great organization to be involved with, and I always encourage people who have an appetite for hiking or helping our community to reach out to the department and get involved.
So when we just ordinary citizens, we don't even give a second thought when there's a disaster or there's an emergency of those that actually come, what they call, I guess, first responders. There's not really, they know there's an organization, but they really not thinking about the individuals that they're there, the actual people that are there to help you, to help the individual citizens. So all that you do, we certainly appreciate it. And everybody that belongs to the search and rescue, obviously, given our terrain and given the environment that we live in, there's a lot of beautiful things to see, but there's also some risks and dangers that we need to be aware of.
Yeah, and they're all volunteers.
Sure.
We don't get paid for going out there. And, another thing that the search and rescue team participates in is fire evacuations.
Oh, yes. This is going to be a particular...
When we have a fire in the county, we amass our team, and we work with, Highway Patrol, Sheriff's Department. Scope also helps out. And, we go door to door to let people know if, the threat is a warning. Be ready, because if we come back next time, it's going to be a green light, time to go, and you have to go. And many times, every fire we go out and do that. And it's a good community service, and I'm proud to be part of it.
Oh yeah, we're very pleased.
Yeah.
You mentioned an organization that folks may be aware of, but they don't know actually who they are. Is Scope. So just inform our listeners who Scope is.
So Scope is the sheriff's, I don't know what the acronym stands for, but it's a committee organization to help the Sheriff's Department on a volunteer basis.
Private citizens.
Yes. Again,
under the auspices of the Sheriff's Department.
Again, volunteers.
Right.
And they provide a wide variety of services that help the Sheriff's Department. They'll do welfare checks. They'll do property checks for folks, say like folks that go to Arizona.
Sure.
For the hot summer, and they'll go by and check on their homes frequently while they're gone. They also are in charge of our it's a wristband that we put on at-risk folks.
Oh, okay.
Alzheimer's,
like medical
people.
alerts.
It's not a medical alert. It's more of a tracking system.
I see.
Tracking. And when folks get lost, we can find them via that bracelet. And the fairgrounds, we all Scope and Search and Rescue help out at the fairgrounds during the fair. Music on the green. You'll see, the folks, they have their uniform is green pants, white shirts, and they're usually paired up and helping our community in a wide variety of applications.
The other thing I don't think a lot of folks realize is that we realize we have a budget for employees and those that are on paid staff. But we got to realize also the county doesn't really function without volunteers.
Absolutely.
A lot of volunteers, such as yourself and many
Yeah.
others. So
Yeah.
we certainly appreciate all that you do for our county.
Yeah. Well, you bet.
Okay.
I'm, like I said, proud to be part of it, and it's rewarding in the sense that I've gotten a lot out of my time with the Sheriff's Department Search and Rescue team, and so it's a win-win for both, for
And
me
when you give, you
and
get.
the community. Exactly.